plan is have low standards. I'm pretty sure I don't even need high standards to PB either. I have a ton of time save at the end of these splits, and I've just never actually gotten there because I get mad and reset. Because I just am trying to go for like an insane run. Yeah, at least it's not my PC. That's good. It sounded like something was like caught in a fan, but actually I think it was just a sync. I think it was just someone with the sync on. Nah, no garbage disposal. We don't have those. Just a rental. I'm not really sure that you can install your own garbage disposal or that anyone would ever do that. I think there's actually some kind of law against garbage disposals in New Jersey now anyway. Like, you can't install new ones or something. I don't know. Wow, this is not cool. This is a lot of cleanup. I'm just gonna keep this. That was like 139, so that's like bare minimum, but I'll keep it. Having to do all that cleanup in the first round was kind of bad. I'm hoping that my attacks hit multiple enemies there so that that doesn't happen. Really? No. See ya. See ya, video game. That was cool. I've never seen that guy attack before. I think what happened there is that his kick hit the, his kick connected with the yellow thing on the ground, and then that breaking caused my weapon to break, and then also knocked me down. So that was really, really cool. That dude was mad. I think that's like the same as like how sometimes in the graveyard the enemies will attack faster, like immediately. I think it's just like a rare aggression thing where they just want to attack right away. That's what I'm looking for with that first group. One of my attacks were hitting multiple enemies, so by the end there was only one dude left anyway. You can just punch him real quick. No cleanup required. Wow, wow, dude. Unbelievable. He dodged my punish. And this guy knocked me down too. And that's the invincible guy. Well, this is another reset. That had to be the invincible guy. No, I'll keep it. 140 flat. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep it and see what happens with the rest of this chapter. That they both chose to do attacks that knock me down is kind of annoying, and that the one guy that I decided to do the charge attack to was the invincible guy as well. No, that's a 1 in 3. That's kind of an incredibly unlucky tutorial that should have been better than it was. Oh well. You want to leave me alone this time? Thank you. I feel like I've got my approach down for this tutorial pretty well, though. This doesn't usually, aside from last time where it somehow did, I feel like this tutorial pretty much always goes exactly the same now. One is, like, actually consistent somehow. Yeah, that's always really satisfying when you time it, like, perfectly. Alright, nice. That guy in the, in Theater Square, like the fat guy who has extra HP, he has, like, kind of a ton of HP, actually. Like, it's because he's supposed to teach you how to do charge attacks. He has, like, a ton of HP. He can survive 2 charge attacks. What the heck? Did not expect that. That guy dodged some, or I hit both of them. I don't think I've done that before. Yeah. Alright, I think that's a pretty good chapter 1, actually. Daigo wasn't cooperative, but aside from Daigo in the graveyard, everything else was really nice. So I think this could be okay. Even though I took a bad graveyard. Now I wish I had a good graveyard, man. Oh yeah, this is really good. Dude, this split would have probably golded if my graveyard were as good as it should have been. It's because of that alleyway fight with the minions. I can never have it all in that split. Like, I'm pretty sure I mean, I know for a fact because I remember what my gold split was. I've never had every fight in that split go correctly. There's always one. There's always at least one that goes wrong. It's interesting because they're supposed to be like the 5 easiest fights in the game, but actually because they're so early in the run, we don't have weapons yet, and they end up actually being some of the 5 most random fights in the game, I feel like. Like, once we get swords, everything kind of like evens out, where it's like, alright, how bad could this really go, aside from certain bosses? Let me remember to not do light attacks on these guys, because they survive those. Alright, this should be a really good split. As long as I don't screw anything up here, of course. He started doing that to me. I don't know what's up with that, where he doesn't just like momentarily pause when I go into the menu. He now like does this crazy like Sonic the Hedgehog skidding to a stop thing. I think it's because when I'm unpausing, I'm like flicking the stick back slightly. I'm trying to do everything too fast. Yeah, those pedestrians at the end were really good. There was like nobody. It's funny how much I actually care about the pedestrians in Chapter 2. Like, in the rest of the game, the pedestrians are just like, whatever, man. But in Chapter 2, it's just like, I'm trying to optimize that. Perfect. Yeah, for real. If they want to like form a wall, they can actually waste a lot of your time. Alright, that was really good. I think that's probably the best that room has ever gone for me. Just based on how much I have left on my drink. Not super fast there, though. I was trying to do as much of that with the knife as I could. There's some like number of hits on here that I want, because I do want my I do want this sword to break eventually. I want to see how long this lasts. Oh, I forgot that that happens sometimes as well. You can hit 3 of those guys with one swing and it looks cool. I need to start anticipating that because it actually happens kind of often. Damn, I even got to stab that dude with the sword. This should be good. I think I mostly just want the sword to break like at this fight. I don't want to carry it after that. Like, that seems perfect, I think. You remember to charge up my kick this time and not bother with Yonayama. I think this was in practice last night when I was messing around with some sword stuff, but I got the cutscene to glitch out in this room where like the cutscene camera doesn't play and like Kiryu doesn't disappear and you can just see him standing there. I haven't seen it happen in there before, but I guess it can just happen in any cutscene. Meant to have this charged already. Oh no, I was dumb. I was dumb. That was not the way I should have done that. I wasn't holding L2. Just ruined a really, really good split. Okay, not ruined, but like, here, let me do this fight, then I'll talk. Yeah, so that split was pretty much literally perfect, except for that heat action. I might still gold this, but this would be like an unbeatable gold if it weren't for that heat action. So that's unfortunate. I messed up like the last input in the whole split. Hell yeah, that's still a gigantic gold by like 8 seconds. On a split that I've been having a lot of difficulty saving time on recently. I guess, actually it wasn't perfect, because the fight in the room with the sofa was also not great. I had to use 3 swings there instead of usually it only takes 2. But still, that was very good. No complaints from me. Don't mind me, just passing through. I love doing that when you bump into the encounter and then you just keep going. It's like... Like, wait, hello? Was that Kiryu? Must have been the wind. It's like, there's a fixed encounter in Yakuza 1 where we sort of get behind him and then we just like nudge past him and you legit like push him halfway across the street as you do this and he doesn't notice you. Like he doesn't even aggro onto you. He's just like completely oblivious. That's my favorite guy. Alright, so time to save like a quarter of a second for free. We realized last night that you actually don't need to answer this question correctly because we're already really rich from that gold plate that we pick up on the street up north in Chapter 2. So we can get away with only getting 50k out of that sub-story instead of 100. Wow, why is it so crowded over here? Where did everybody come from? Yeah, super minor time save, but there's absolutely no reason to not just do that. Gonna take my quarter of a second. The top option actually is the correct option in the original game. You can just legit, like it's a sub-story where you just mash through the text for 100,000 yen for free. It's like, alright. Sure. Yeah, 476 is still plenty. I think in the way I used to do it with the silvers, I would have like 450 or so. So maybe even 440. So this is still way more than enough. Yo, what's up, Pape Quest? The font on my splits? I think you actually commented on the font on my splits like the day I changed it a couple of weeks ago. But thank you, it is a nice font. It's quicksand for the numbers and railway for the words. Both free from Google Fonts. Thank you for the good luck as well.
Boy.
I'm a big fan of the font change, though. I think my splits look really nice. Shoutouts to Supreme for inspiring me to mess with my font. Or just my layout in general, because I touched up a few other things as well.
Boy.
Oh, come the fuck on. Where's the nearest vending machine? It's not even nearby. Well, that's the end of this run. Look at this shit. What was that encounter? I should have gone through them. I panicked. I panicked. I just lost my whole lead. I just lost my whole lead because I panicked. I've never seen them spawn like that before. I could have just ran through them. Oh, that sucks. There are one or two other things I could have tried as well to despawn those guys. Like there was a dude who I ran past who had a green arrow above his head. Speaking to him would have despawned the enemies, but I don't know what else it would have done. He might have like started a sub-story or something. I don't know exactly what his deal is. That's lame. That encounter hasn't been screwing me too hard recently. That's like the worst position I've ever seen it in. It just caught me as soon as I left the arcade. I don't think that's my whole lead, by the way. I think that's just most of it. It sucks though that that had to happen immediately after like an insane chapter 3. Alright, I'm going umbrella stand. Trash can. I'm like 0 for 3 on trash can recently. We're going umbrella stand. Not very good. I hate that Asaki stays in the back, dude. Just keeps doing that to me and I can't hit him before the weapon runs out. No, I did not. That was like 35-ish. Ugh, it's gonna be like 20 seconds of time loss or something, I think, because of that encounter. Anyway, I'm gonna, as usual, step away for a second while this happens, so... I don't know how... Like, there's this weird glitch that Froob has here sometimes that I don't, where like you see these guys in the pink jackets, like... He sits down, and when he gets mad, so nothing weird happens, but when Froob does it, the guy's jacket disappears, and you can see his nipples. It's weird. It's not like the whole jacket, it's just like a window around his nipples disappears. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Alright. Remakes of Kamurocho 3. I mean, Kamurocho 2 is cool. I'm excited to see what they do with the third one. But I guess Gen 4 remakes are up next, aren't they? I don't know. Do you think they'd do Gen 4 remakes, or would they do Let's Go remake of Gen 2? Like straight up, I feel like that's a thing they could do. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how well the first one did. But they're on like a second wave of remakes with those. We need more Gen 1. I mean... I don't know, the whole remakes thing. Like, remaking old games is fine and all. But I feel like they have to stop at some point, like... See you guys. Like, they can't do remakes of, like, Gen 8 or something. Like, sure, that's like 20 years down the road, but like, that game is already like a full 3D game. Like, what more do you want? Or what do you gain from remaking it, aside from selling it a bunch, I guess, so... I just feel like it's getting to the point where it's like, because even with Gen 4, right, they, I know all the Pokemon and like your player character and stuff, those are still sprites, but isn't that when they started to make the world 3D? Kinda, so like, even then, I feel like you're starting to see diminishing reasons to bother remaking the game. That's just my opinion as like a person who doesn't play Pokemon though. Will I get all the orbs? I did get all the orbs. Of course, it can always look better. Like, I'm saying, as I'm talking about this as if the 3D I'm referring to isn't like the horrible, rudimentary, like early DS 3D, you know? Like, obviously you can put that in like a modern style and it will look way better, but I just feel like Like, what the hell would like a Gen 6 remake look like? That game is like basically just looks fine. It's just low resolution. Like at that point, it would just look like a port. I don't know. Unless you're going for like photorealistic Pokemon in some point in the distant future, and then you remake all the old games to look like that. I feel like it just kind of is what it is. They remake Galaxy, we're racing it day one. If they... I mean, they're not, but like if they did, if that like Super Mario, like the 3D re-release thing ends up being true, I would be down for some big Mario races when it came out. An actual Galaxy remake would be... That's another one where I'm not even sure how you remake that game, because it just looks fine. It just looks the same as games that come out today. Just lower resolution. I believe it makes too much sense. Yeah, I mean, it is Nintendo. But I mean, hey, they're re-releasing all their Wii U stuff. Think about it, it's the same game, it already exists, and you can sell it for $60, and people will buy it, and then you just never put it on sale. Easy money. When Persona 6 comes out, you can bet Persona 6 Shiny will come out 2 years later. Yup. Oh, did he? That, is the director that guy, freaking, like, Hashino or whatever? Or is this someone else? Or is he the writer? I did not hear anything about that. Majima is always so cooperative. You wouldn't expect that from him, but like he always lets you do that. He's such a nice guy. He's easily the most consistent Majima fight in the whole series. I see. That's interesting. Still not gonna play Persona, but you know. It's interesting. Maybe we become good finally. I'm glad there's one other person on this earth who doesn't appreciate Persona. It's not just me. I'm usually alone in my hot takes. Hell yeah, Pape Quest. Of course it does. Has a horrible RTS that is dumb and random and evil. Okay, ready? Here we go. Here we go. Check this out. Oh yeah, 56. Should save a very large amount of time on this stream. Yeah, the UI kind of looks like a gacha, doesn't it? I think that my wave 3 was slow, and that's why it wasn't like a 49 or something, but... Yeah, for me it's the calendar pacing. Alright, check out the split. Oh, how is that not gold? That was so good. Should have golded by like a second or two. What happened? I'm gonna blame pedestrians. Okay, this is chapter 6, so we are going 5 up. Why do they both live in small apartments? I don't think you actually see where Kiryu lives ever outside of 0 and 5. I think Kiryu is just like not like actually homeless, but like he just doesn't ever go home. Like he just sleeps in weird places, like that bar. Oh yeah, and 4 you get to see 4 and 0 you get to see where Majima lives as well. Perfect. Actual perfection right there. We got the doubles. Yeah, now Majima lives like... Well, right now, I guess he's living in Purgatory, but then after they build Kamurocho Hills, I guess he lives in that Majima family office that you see in Dead Souls, maybe? I'm not sure if we can really count Dead Souls as anything, anything even close to canon, but... God, it's so weird having to drink something there, because I did that other fight so fast. Pocket that. Pocket this. Actually, I think I always drink something there. I don't think that's new. Got the weird back kick that does more damage for some reason. Perfect. This run is so good. Each game is sort of, so each game, they tend to, they have a tendency to either kill or just conveniently write out every character that they introduce in each game. So aside from like certain hang-ons, like obviously Kiryu isn't going anywhere, Majima's not going anywhere, Date, like aside from certain recurring characters, they do tend to just... Shit. Wrong button. Each game does tend to sort of be a completely different cast. But there is continuity. Wow, that guy just pushed me down the stairs with his dead body. Whoa. This has been really bad. That was really bad all of a sudden. Don't you do it, thank you. I just, no, my stove. That's bad. I have never seen that door break my stove before. I'm gonna lose time on the split, even with that insane first fight. Actually, maybe not, because you don't need to use the stove there. It's just... it's not good for my weapon durability, man. The triangle attack on the stove, because that's also, like, I use that as well. Because that's, like, the same, like, spin attack that he does with crowbars, and it's fast and good. Oh, I'm actually not losing time on the split. I'm actually saving a bunch. Okay. Never mind, guys. That should have golded, though. I'm mad about that, I'm mad about how that fire escape went. That should have golded. Oh, I see. That's a strat. Instead of even bothering with the stove, you just carry in those wooden swords, because I do intentionally make sure that they both drop. You totally just carry that through, yeah. Keep that in mind for next run. Yeah, if you have 3 hits left on it, then you can just carry it through, and like it's definitely at the very least more consistent than the stove. I've been having a lot of issues recently, where he just tanks the stove and doesn't light on fire. So like using sword is definitely preferable on that man in black on the roof. All the runs lost by police encounters. I'm pretty sure it only happened like once maybe. But yeah, I mean this is like K1 and K2 are like weirdly in a lot of ways like very faithful remakes. Like I think that's in part because they reuse a lot of the cutscene animations, but there's a lot of stuff that's like straight up identical between the two games. But at the very least, all the content is the same. I would say K2 is more of a straightforward remake than K1. K1 does add a bunch of little things. K2, aside from like not having Shinseicho, is basically an identical game. You've got plenty of your own green splits, EMO. BRT God. Although, actually, how long have we been live for? An hour 12. How did you end up finishing that run? Red going into chestnuts, rip. And then only one chestnut. Honestly, I do like that about this game a lot, because all of the changes they made in Kiwami 1 are bad. So I like that this game mostly doesn't change anything, because I don't trust them to change things. All the K1 changes are like just inserting weird backtracking sections into the middle of the story that ruin the pacing of the game. Or like extra Majima fights, so that Majima can be wacky on screen and create memes. I do, because I really do, like the original Yakuza 2 a lot. That's like one of my favorite games. So even though I'm not like a giant fan of the engine they used for this and like the way the combat works, and it's very like ragdoll-y and physics based, I'm not a huge fan of that. I end up really liking this game anyway, just because it is Yakuza 2, so it's got all the stuff I love about Yakuza 2 in it. But yeah, Demo, that is literally what they did. They, like, all of the, like, cutscene animation and rigging and stuff is all, it's all ripped straight from the PS2 games. So if you compare the cutscenes side by side in K1 and K2 to the originals, they're identical. Like, they're shot for shot identical with no changes. It's just different models. Janky physics are good. See, it's, I do like I like when you beat enemies and you watch them like bounce up and down and do crazy things. I like that. I don't like when your attacks don't connect when they totally should, because the ragdoll did something weird. I don't like that. By the way, that split was awesome, and it has been a really long time since the bar fight worked correctly, so hell yeah. Anyway, time to throw this whole lead like I always do. Yo, what's up, Voidus? Dude, the Yakuza 3 engine is actually, like, I actually think that the gameplay in Yakuza 3 is really compelling in the speedrun. Like, it's a shame that you don't do a whole lot of it, just like basic hand-to-hand combat, because I actually think it's interesting and fun. Whoa, Granny's text like didn't load. That was weird. I mashed through it too fast. Yeah, it turned out to, honestly, I like Yakuza 3 a lot. When I thought I would hate it. Yakuza 4 best speedrun game. Dude, miserable speedrun game. I look forward to coming back. Forgot that there's more. Yes, hold him right there. Hold him right there, Koru. Hell yeah. Alright, good fight. The kids filler? Yeah, it's... I honestly don't mind the kids filler. It's something that I got used to doing in runs, and I actually just found it to be kind of comfy. Oh wait, shoot, I'm missing something kind of important. Well, this guy has a bunch of extra HP now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, gamers. His HP is way higher than it's supposed to be. Gonna have to hit him with the sword a little bit instead of just punching him. I wish people would run the original Yakuza 2. I do think it's, there we go. That actually wasn't bad. That only lost me like a second from, having to drink that extra soda. I do think that the original Yakuza 2 is probably one of the worst speed games in the series. Just because of Knuckles grind. Like, I was telling someone that somewhere recently that sometimes you have to reset for 2 hours to get brass knuckles, and I was like, it sort of stuck out to me in a way that it doesn't normally, where I'm like, wow, that's actually horrible. I cannot believe I ran that, and I fully understand why nobody else ever would. That being said, though, other people picking up OG2 would be super hype. I would watch this shit out of those brass knuckles resets if someone wanted to pick that up. Just saying, you would have at least one loyal viewer, and it would be me. I would be very annoying in your chat. Really? Why didn't I kill? Get out of here. Touch the barrier, thank you. Yo, even those guys touch the barrier. Dude, okay, so you guys aren't in the Yakuza Speedrun Discord, so you didn't see this, but here's what Froob said to me this morning in Discord. He says, honestly, if you're getting sick of any percent, just run Legend. Which is the most suspect take I have heard in a hot minute. Like, any percent got you down, okay, just run the extremely inconsistent version of any percent, where all the enemies kill you in, like, one hit. Like, alright, my man. He meant it, too. Like, he was super serious. He was like, no, for real. I was like, no, for real. All sub-stories isn't that bad. Okay, so K2 all sub-stories might not be that bad. Like, in general, one of the problems that the older Yakuzas have that makes it really hard to recommend them to casual players nowadays is that the way sub-stories work is awful. Like, Yakuza 2 wasn't that bad until we got to the end. Like, For the most part, I was having a fine time, right? But in Yakuza 1, all the sub-stories are actually, like, time-locked. So if you don't encounter them and complete them at the right time in the story, they just disappear, and you just can't do them. And you're just locked out of all sub-stories. Like, there's one sub-story in Yakuza 2 that does that to you, but there's like 40 sub-stories in Yakuza 1 that do that to you. Like, they'll all do it. You need to follow a guide. And by a guide, I mean the Patrick, because he's the only guide. So, like, if you're into side content in Yakuza games, like, it's really hard to recommend those original games, to be honest. But the modern ones are very nice if you want to get all sub-stories in them. Like, I think that Froob is actually looking into K2 all sub-stories right now, and I think he said it should only take him, like... I think his estimate was, like, 6 to 8 hours or something. That doesn't sound right to me, but, like, not too bad. This is Chapter 9, so we're going to Tojo HQ. Cool. Run through the entire city every time anything happens. Yes. Yes, you are. Because it's not just like they put the sub-stories in places where you would run into them anyway. Like, the sub-stories will just be in completely unrelated locations, or if you don't go out of your way to check that location at like each step of the plot, then you will miss a sub-story, stuff like that. Also, there's like no markers for any sub-story stuff. So like, you don't know they're there unless you go there and physically check. There's also a lot of sub-stories that don't even look like sub-stories, but then they end up being one. So it'll just be like, oh, you talked to that guy, but then you just moved on with the game, so sorry. He was actually the start of a sub-story, and you just missed something, and now you have to start the run over. Like, actually, Zanaso routed all sub-stories for Yakuza 1, and I think it took him 3 attempts to finally finish a run, because things just kept going wrong. Because also in the original Yakuza 1, not in Yakuza 2, I don't think, but in the original Yakuza 1, there is a difference between beating a sub-story and completing it. And you need to complete all the sub-stories, which means you need to get the best ending for them in order to unlock Amon. So then it's also like, oh, maybe, you know, you didn't win this fight damageless, or you didn't answer the correct thing. Why did I do that? Like, congrats, the sub-story is now ruined, and you don't get a second chance, and your run is over. There's just, those old games, man, are really rough for all sub-stories, but I think K2 shouldn't be too bad. Oh, I meant to get this as well. How many hits do I have on that wood sword? I didn't catch it. I hope it's a couple, because I think I'm slightly low. Ah, nice try, guy in green. I saw that coming a mile away. Get out of here. That guy in the green coat who hit me, like, he always does that. He's really aggressive. I saw through the bullshit. Honestly, doing an all sub-stories run in the PS3 era games would kind of suck too, because I think they all require you to do Cabaret. Like, you need to max out all the girls and stuff, and it takes even longer than it did in Yak 2 when I was doing it on stream. Anyway, I actually had a run offline a couple days ago that was about on this pace, and then I forgot to buy Weapon Attack Max at this point in the run. And that turned out to lose me like 4 minutes in the long run, because I had to do more weapon attacks, so I ran out of weapons early, and then I didn't know what to do, so the enemies killed me. So on that run, I learned just how important weapon attack max is. There we go, that's pretty good. I don't think I'll save time on this split. I think I'll lose some time because my menuing was really sloppy. This run is still really good. Yeah, Zero also has the phone girls. I think there's some way to tell, like, there's some way where you can sort of tell, but not really, which phone girl you're gonna get. Like, you're looking for a certain colored bikini or something like that when you're playing the mini game. But it, like, isn't, like, a surefire way. Oh, he's not dead. Yeah, Yamo. I mean, feel the heat skip in OG2. I wish that we had gotten that implemented in runs. I'm honestly not sure if it would have been faster because you needed to take so much damage to make it viable. But it was like the coolest strat in the game, honestly. I really liked that strat. It's also like one of a very small number of things that I actually found for that game, so I really wanted to make it work. But nah. Most of my contributions to the Yakuza 2 route were just like weird skips and dumb things, not like actual strats. Like, hey, did you know you can just ignore half of chapter 13? But then, like, all the combat stuff is just like, nah, I can't figure it out. Did you know that you can press start at the end of every fight in the game to speed up the fade out animation and save, like, multiple minutes? Only in OG2. That's the only Yakuza game in the whole series that works that way. Is 4 up. People were like making fun of me for not checking that, but it's actually the only game in the whole series that does that, so like, excuse me for not knowing. It's not even like mentioned in the manual or anything. And that is when I started my bad habit of mashing start at the end of every fight in Yakuza games, which is something that I still do to this day sometimes. Hell yeah, perfect encounter luck. Absolutely no problems there. Yeah, I did it, Kuro, when I was testing stealth skip stuff, like when we were trying to find stealth skip. I or when we were messing with Out of Bounds as well. Like, I was having that problem where I kept bringing up the summary at the end of fights because I was mashing start. I don't do it in this game because I finally, like, deprogrammed it from my brain. If you mash start in this game, it'll actually pause the game at the end of a fight, so you don't want to do it. But for a really long time, like for a year, I would just do that always. I'm gonna despawn these guys. Honestly, something that's interesting about that summary screen is after the summary screen, there's no fight. There's no fade out. The fight just ends immediately. But it does make you stare at the summary screen for several seconds before you're allowed to close it. So it's still not faster than if you had not bothered. But it's something that I thought might be faster for a second when I was playing Zero. I think I still have some hits left on that wooden thing. I'm gonna have to re-equip soon, though. I think my wooden sword is gonna die during this next fight, and when that happens, I'm gonna do the rest of the equips. Boy. I think this is a pretty normal time for that to happen. I don't think I'm low on weapon. I don't remember if this one is an area. I think it might have been. I know that in Chapter 12, Kurakawa is not an area. Yeah, this one definitely is. I could have just ran past that encounter. When you come here in Chapter 12, in a similar situation, you have to actually talk, so you can't just aggro onto some dudes. Or let them aggro onto you, rather. Okay, 4 hits, that's fine. Alright, and it's broken. So next time I have to enter the menu for something, I'll just, do it then. Which will be, on the fight at the end of the split against What's-His-Face, who steals the tattoo, the very important tattoo. The cutscene, the tattoo is so important that it has 11 cutscenes dedicated to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then it dumps me outside. Eight, 9. That is in Chapter 13. Killer Kawara takes 7 cutscenes to die. Okay, I don't know why I chose to do that with light attacks instead of the heavy attack, but it was a big mistake. How am I not saving time on this split? Did I screw something up, like, horribly? How did I lose time on 15 of possible time? What did I do wrong? Like, for real, though. Actually, I might know. That gold might be fake. Okay, this is 5 up. The split is all menuing, so I'm gonna focus for a sec. The code is 5824. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me before I enter that in. But I'm pretty sure it's 5824. And the code for getting in the door is, wow, look at that encounter. Is 110, 100, 109. Cool. Alright, didn't screw it up.
Boy.
But that gold in the last chapter that I was comparing against was in my offline run where I screwed something up horribly. And I think because of that it affected my menus in chapter 10, so it's a fake gold. Still lost 3 seconds though, which I'm kind of sad about. I guess that's just because my fight with Tattoo Theft Man was really awkward and bad because I thought it was the Mahjong parlor fight or something. Take me to Kama. Yeah, this whole chapter is something that they changed from the original Yakuza 2. Originally, you go to an entire, like, third city. It's, like, not a big city, it's a small city, but it is, like, a whole different city map, and you go do all these different puzzles. I'm gonna lose a little time because that fight was bad. I don't know why that guy blocked me. Oh, actually gold. Never mind. I guess my menus were just that good. They were very good for what it's worth. Those menus were on point. I shouldn't have used a light attack there. That's an extra hit on the sword that I didn't want to lose. I have some stuff that I want to try in this chapter. That's a really ominous statement, but I have some stuff I want to try. Nothing has ever gone wrong after saying that before, ever. I really have to stop like that. Yo, travel 10 kilometers on foot. We did it. Oh my god, out of my way. Every time you bump into someone here, you take damage. And I actually kind of don't want to bump into people because I usually have to heal during chapter 12, but the tiger fight at the end of this chapter is pretty much the one place in the run where I could actually die. The tigers will pretty much always open with an attack that does about 1/3 of your health if it hits you, and they can combo it, like, into itself, so a little scary. gonna level up to just there. I'm not gonna go all the way. And I'm hoping that I will not over-damage, that because of that, I will not over-damage Ryuji 3 at the end of the run. Because if I go all the way, I will over-damage him, even without the beads. I found that out the hard way, offline. It makes me want to check this out, though. Let's saw this guy. Farewell, nerd. That was fast. Oops, wrong way. I thought so. By having the attack leveled up and using the saw, we can kill that guy in 2 hits. Yo, what's up, maps? Sure, there will be many more runs in the future. Alright, these guys are going to get sawed as well, because they have a lot of health. The saw does, I think the saw is the same attack stat as, wow, really? I think the saw is the same attack stat as the Nameless Katana, but it's significantly more powerful than just like a wooden katana. I think it's like 52 attack versus 70 attack, something like that. I was intentionally saving my saw so that I could use it on this chapter 12 stuff. I'm interested in namelessing this friend here. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Okay, it didn't matter. It didn't really matter. I was just wondering if I would kill that guy in 2 hits. It's actually good that I didn't kill that guy in 2 hits because that would mean that I'm gonna overdamage Ryuji at the end. So I think I'm fine on my attack stat. I think I'm right where I want to be. I wish you could watch that cutscene in the run. It's so good. The castle that you see in the cutscene there is actually not the castle that we're in, believe it or not. The castle in the cutscene splits in half, and then a giant golden castle rises up out of the ground from underneath it, and then that's the castle we're in. It's like probably top 5 most ridiculous things in the series, and people just people like to say, like online, when people are complaining about newer Yakuza games, people like to say that the old ones were more grounded in their writing. Point them to that cutscene. There's a giant golden castle under another castle. Also, that ninja was a jerk. Good dodge. I didn't really need to drink that, but I had more than enough, and I want to keep as many sword uses as possible, because I'm actually coming in kind of hot, it looks like. I am going to use up most of the rest of this sword on trucks. Not great shooting, but it's fine. Fit and skilled enough to defeat a tiger with no weapons. Well, Kiryu is, but he's not going to, because that would be slow. Now you, now you. Okay. So that was not like an amazing room or anything. However, nobody dodged around like an idiot for 30 seconds, so I'll take it. Maybe something else. I mean, if we're talking real life, I don't think you stand a chance, I'm gonna be honest. Good. See how much damage that attack did to me though? That's the scary one. If you time that perfectly, you can hit him without getting hit yourself. But the window is really small, because if you go too early, then you won't hit him at all. But yeah, and they're in the background with the fan is Sengoku. He's, this is his castle. You only really see him in cutscenes, and then also right there with a fan. There's actually a really good cutscene that comes right after this fight. So Sengoku kidnapped Haruka, that's why you're here, you've come to save Haruka. And Sengoku goes back to his office or something, and Ryuji is there, and Ryuji is like, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? And then kills him and kicks him off the top of the castle, and it's like pretty cool. And it like establishes Ryuji as the best character in the series. Anyway, note the possible time save on this split. That is not fake. I will probably choke this split. I hope I don't. Oh boy, I'm nervous now. Now I'm nervous. Okay, this is one down. Now we get phone call. Now it's one up. Or yeah, one up. I said one up and then I didn't input it. We look at Bald Man. Now we sell Haruka's soul to this talent agency. Note the beautiful widescreen CRT. Good. No spaghetti. This is a spaghetti-free zone. Yes I did. I actually lost world record yesterday. Fru bopped me. But I had it for like a week or two. I didn't see the run where he bopped me, because I had to go eat dinner. But yeah, he did back-to-back K2 runs yesterday. I cannot imagine finishing a Yakuza run and then being like, well, I'm just gonna do another. When I finish one of these runs, I'm like tired and ready to stop. Not that I don't love them, but they're long and I get sweaty. I'm definitely one run a day when it comes to Yakuza. Which kind of sucks when my one run is just when I like don't even have to reset too much to get a run, because then my stream is shorter than I like. But yeah, I don't. I don't know. If I had, I used to do, I feel like I haven't done this in a while, but I used to have multiple speed games going at a time, and I'd do runs of this, and then when I was done, I would do, like, I don't know, I would swap to, like, Serious Sam the First Encounter, or Katamari or something. I just don't have another game like that right now. Six. I have a ton of Saw, though. I'm not worried about it, actually. Now that I think about it, I have a ton of Saw. I'm totally fine on weapons. Something weird just happened there. I don't know what. Alright, please. Please. There's two guys with guns here. I need a gun. They need to not drop their guns off of the truck. Good. There's a gun right there. We got both of them. Alright, whoops, I forgot to throw the gun. But that's failed like 3 or 4 times in a row, I swear. It has been so long since one of those guys actually dropped their guns when they were supposed to. Or they do drop the guns, they just drop the guns off the side of the truck, which is no help to me. Dude, I mean, okay, so for what it's worth, Ugyu, stuff like this is not in the original Yakuza 2. Like these antics, this doesn't happen. The truck section is a lot more mundane. And you can't throw people off the trucks in OG2 either, which is really disappointing. I think that's actually like a pretty major improvement they made to this game, is making it so that you can throw people off the trucks. That's something that I wish was in the original but wasn't, and it's just like satisfying to have it in. But yeah, it is a cool section regardless. I like, there's a strat you do in the original Yakuza 2 there when you fight the Man in Black, where you, typically in original Yakuza 2, you don't want to end any fight with a heat action because it means you can't skip the ending. But in that fight specifically, and that one alone, you actually want to end with a heat action because it causes, a long slow-mo thing to get skipped. So there's like a little strat there that I used to forget half the time and lose like 15 seconds. Anyway, Kurahashi. I'm gonna use my Saw here. Oh shoot. Awkward. Awkward. I wanted to drink muscle soda before starting this fight because this fight likes to eat my pauses. There we go. Wasn't punished. Yo, and we got Kurahashi just doing a cool pose in midair. That happens sometimes. Kurahashi is a fucking cutie. I don't know that I agree. He kind of just looks like an old dude. That's your thing, then that's your thing though, I guess. Wow, I'm actually pretty low on weapons. Excuse me, just choked on nothing. So anyway, note my time save. Not even close to gold, but, you know, somehow I'm fine with that. Okay, well, I almost just big choked. Caught myself for making a massive menuing error there that would cost me like 30 seconds maybe. Actually, I don't think that would have been that bad. I think that's close to a taxi, but it would have been bad. I'm nervous now, honestly. I'm really nervous now. I need to calm down. What is that spawn, dude? I've never seen a spawn there like that. Oh boy, that lag. I was afraid the game was about to crash there. We're gonna have to risk this. Good. Maybe it wasn't actually that close. Bad encounters in chapter 14 though. This is Tojo HQ, so it's top. These are the cutscenes where like every top Tojo guy just dies. Wow, I am thankful that the game ate my input there, otherwise we were going to Sotenbori. Alrighty, gotta remember to do the thing after I take this taxi, which is 4 up, by the way. Autosave complete, we close the game. Hopefully that was long enough. Cool. This is, so certain, I think we've basically narrowed it down to certain AMD processors will cause this game to crash if it has been on for too long. So this game is guaranteed to crash about halfway through this chapter unless I reboot the game at some point during the run. I choose to reboot it right there. Fortunately, because this is an issue with a couple of us, we allow you to remove that time for leaderboard purposes. So that didn't actually lose me any time, that reboot. It just is a thing I gotta do. There is an in-game timer going. Look below my big main timer. That is my time without loads. That is courtesy of Voidus, who was in here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still around, but yeah, he made a load remover and auto splitter for this game. We actually just got a load remover and auto splitter for Yakuza 0 as well from a dude named Toxic. Who I think is mostly a Judgment guy, actually, because they're Judgment people. Somehow. But yeah, in the run to that doctor's office is when the game would have crashed if I didn't reboot the game. And actually, if I have to reset more than once or twice, like in the tutorial at the start of the run, I'll reboot the game. Otherwise, it'll crash even earlier in Chapter 9. Wow, he got me. The gamer. Tiny bit short on weapons at the end. It's fine though. So yeah, I'm losing time because of that. And also, my bar fight was bad. When is Judgment? Okay. So the answer is never. For those who haven't seen the Judgment speedrun, it's a bit over 6 hours long. It has really long tailing sequences that are mostly front-loaded, so you spend like the first 2 hours of the game just tailing people, it feels like. And those are basically auto-scrollers, but if you make even like a tiny movement error, you lose time on them, so... Actually, they're like not auto-scrollers, but they feel like them, so that makes it even worse. Then about 2 hours in, there's an RNG Mario Party minigame that can just lose you several minutes if it wants to. And then aside from that, the run is just a lot of load screens and a lot of running and a couple of weights that you can't do anything about. Speaking of weights you can't do anything about. Hello? It's not a good speedrun at all, Judgment. If it got ported to PC, I think it would be a bit more tolerable just because the loading times wouldn't be so insane. But right now, I think we estimate that there's probably at least an hour and a half of loads, maybe more. Dragon Engine loads on console are really rough. That's why we're actually hoping that once Yakuza 7 gets ported to PC and when that comes out, we'll be able to bring the time on that game down by, like, hours. Yeah, and the drone to respawn enemies, which, I mean, that's not that bad, honestly. Better than having no technique, you know? Kick the can. Anyway, I've checked this before, they cannot follow me up the stairs. So instead of taxiing here, I walked across the whole city because the timer that we're on right now would stop if we took the taxi. So by running across the whole city instead, we keep the timer running and it saves like 2 seconds. Yeah, Yakuza 7's been out in Japan since like January, and 2 Japanese guys have done runs of it. None of us in the English community have like watched those runs, and none of us know anything about the game really, but I'm hoping we can bring the time down because I think world record is like 8.5 hours. Actually, it got confirmed, paper question. It is November 13th. It got officially confirmed like 2 days ago maybe. Turns out that the date that they put on the Microsoft Store and the DLC on Steam was in fact the release date. That was not a mistake. Even though they didn't want to, like, I don't think they ever corrected that error. I think it was just there. It was a really open secret what the release date was going to be for 7. But yeah, it's only been out in Japan and the rest of Asia as well. Like, I remember when it came out, I was watching like some Korean streamers and stuff like that, and like some Taiwanese streamers and things. So they have the game as well. It's just not localized for the West. For some reason, I feel like every time I checked into a Yakuza 7 casual stream when the game came out, they were always in the exact same spot in the game. I kind of wonder, it looked like a Pit of 100 Trials type of setup, and I feel like I just kept watching the Pit of 100 Trials over and over again. Unfortunate chapters 14 and 15, that probably killed 138.
Oh.
138 loadless, that is. Oh yeah, it's totally my jam, you know me. After all, I enjoy Dragon Quest, so you'd be surprised. Okay, got all my drinks set up. Let's do a finale. I don't know, I'm not a super big turn-based RPG guy, especially, I don't know, when it comes to turn-based RPGs as well, like I said, I like Dragon Quest. I kinda like classic stuff. Like, when shit gets too weird, I'm honestly not a fan. So we'll see about, I know that 7 has like a weird system about like positioning, and like you have to like run to attack enemies, but then like if you're running past an enemy to get to another one, they can like interrupt you, and there's like Paper Mario action commands and stuff. There's some weird stuff going on in 7, I know. So we'll see, but I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm definitely going to play the game. But nah, like, I was actually, funny that you're here, Darrow. I was thinking about it when I was watching you play Tokyo Mirage Sessions in Discord. You're like Discord streaming it the other night. And I was like, holy shit, what is going on in this interface? Like, I was trying to just like make any sense of the combat system and I couldn't. Like, this game looks like a very not Tapioca game. That's probably going to screw me up that I have my broadsword on D-pad up, but I did it. No regrets. Does the Yakuza series change its combat system? So OG 1 and 2 is the same. Well, so they always make little adjustments, so even the games with the same engine are not exactly identical. OG 1 and 2 are same engine. 3 and 4 are same engine. 5 is technically same engine as 3 and 4, but they overhauled it a lot and redid a lot of animations, so the combat feels kind of different. Then 6, K2, and Judgment are the same. Although Judgment's a different playable character, so the moveset's completely different. 0 and K1 with the styles are technically same engine as 3 through 5, but with styles, so it's a totally different combat system. Always the guy with the shotgun. It always is. I'm not mad. I said that in a very, like, low-key mad tone, but I'm not mad. It's just a tiny little time loss when you hit the grenade guy. One of the enemies there was holding a grenade. I don't think he threw the grenade even, but when you hit him, sometimes he just explodes. And you just sit there on fire for a little bit. Let me remember the important thing here. Before I enter this fight, I want to drink a new muscle soda so that I don't have to drink one at the start of Ryuji. Perfect. I'm gonna use Nameless here, which is on D-pad right, because I am silly and I like ruining my muscle memory on PB pace. I think it's a fun thing to do, just as a test of character. I've been curious about only stabbing him once, but I'm not curious enough to test that right now, so there we go. Good Ryuji too. My HP kind of sucks. I'm gonna drink that Toughness Infinity at the start of this next fight. There's a bit of a glitch that happens, like, I want to say like maybe a fifth of the time, just to throw a random number on it on the next fight, where when you go to do the Feel the Heat against Daijin Kim and you're mashing square, he just gets up and starts shooting you. And at this HP, I'm not confident that he wouldn't kill me if he did that, so I'm gonna heal. I'm actually gonna heal here. I usually don't have to, but I took damage from that grenade. This is also Nameless. Actually, I don't have time to heal. Never mind. We're just gonna risk it. I don't think he'll kill me. Ooh, bad. Bad, bad, bad. That's another thing he does. Every once in a while, he will just not wait there, and he'll just blast you immediately. So that's not a good Daijin Kim. Usually, he just stands there after the first QTE, and you just walk up to him and hit him. But sometimes he doesn't. So... cool game. Actually, cool game. Look at them. They all just grouped right up for me. Thanks, boys. Ah, yeah, not even close to 138. That's unfortunate. 138's a tough goal. I'm actually going to lose time on this finale, I think. Ugh. That's lame. I thought I was going to save time on this finale. Here, let me do this correctly. One attack, heat action. Vertical as he's getting up. After this QTE, Ryuji has an attack he does that'll immediately waste 30 seconds if he hits you with it, but using these strats, he doesn't have a second phase, so see ya, Ryuji. Oh, I did save time. Okay, good. Ooh, 130. Oh, wait a second. Oh, but my reset was fast. This is 139 flat. This is 139.00 because of the reset. This is a 139 flat. I didn't get it. 1 second off the 138, dude. Come on. Because the reset is pretty much always exactly 40 seconds. There's a small chance that it was 39 this time, but ugh. Finally, though, God. You haven't been around this stream much the last couple of days. I've been resetting this game like a lunatic for the last like 2 weeks and haven't been finishing runs. It's just been a big disaster. Finally. Oh, I just had a really good emote idea. Completely unrelated to this run, but I just got a good emote idea.